Stunning details today in the tragic murder of 8-year-old Sandra Cantu, who police say was killed by local Sunday school teacher Melissa Huckabee.
A woman accused of killing the 8-year-old, stuffing her body in a suitcase, then throwing it into a pond. It's also accused of raping little Sandra.
Police want to know if a Sunday school teacher accused of raping and killing an 8-year-old girl had any other alleged victims.
She was a Sunday school teacher and did have contact with children. That's why we're asking.
Melissa Huckabee, again, a Sunday school teacher, of all things.
According to reports, Huckabee told investigators during her interrogation last week that Sandra's death was an accident. The state has not yet announced if they are seeking death against the 28-year-old mother. In other developments, just days before her arrest, Huckabee allegedly attempted to commit suicide by swallowing X-Acto knives. While Huckabee reportedly denies the claim, she remains behind bars on suicide watch.
She swallows not one, not two, but 3 X-Acto blades. Dr. Marty McCary, why didn't it work?
Well, actually, most people are surprised. They often are not fatal, and it's actually common.
I've never even heard of swallowing an X-Acto knife. Those are the blades that you slice for a precise cut. Great. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Well, which one is it? Which one, Rosie, is the one that she swallowed? The one in the middle? The one on the left? Whoa! Hold on. McCary, she swallowed 3 of the ones on the left, and she lived to tell the tale?
Oftentimes, the body has a way of sort of entrapping the knives, and they can pass through with only some bleeding. Most people live, and it's a way a lot of people, especially prisoners, get a lot of attention as they try to get out of the situation that they're in.
Out to Bob Moffat with KFBK News Talk 1530. He's joining us from out.
It just gets encased in poop.
She has nothing to do with it. Then she blabs to the media, changing her story and waves the red flag. Then she apparently writes some zany note, which I guess she sends herself, showing where the body is, says she didn't do it. Then she says she's innocent. Now she says it's an accident. But there's a little problem with the alleged rape of the child. And what can you tell me about reports out of KOVR from several parents that this is because this woman may have been involved in child pornography?
Well, from what we have heard, the investigation has turned into other victims. The Tracy Police Department has asked for parents to come forward with any stories that their children may have told them about any possible misconduct by Melissa Huckabee. And if you'll remember, shortly after Sandra Cantu's body was found, there were search warrants served in the trailer park and also at the church belonging to Melissa Huckabee's grandfather, Mr. Lawless, and a computer was taken from the pastor from the church as well. So we're not sure where the pornographic images may have come from, if they in fact exist.
Well, let me
if they may have
just give
existed
a
on one of those
little
computers.
clue to the police. Try her cell phone. You know, Cheryl McCollum, I can only think of one word: freak.
Absolutely. Checking her cell phone is brilliant, Nancy. She's going to have photographs of those children on there. The computer is, you know, investigation 101. She's been on internet sites. She's been in chat rooms. This is nothing. This is not going to be real easy to, you know, show everybody what she's been doing.
Because, you know, the fact, the anomaly of a female sex predator that commits murder is highly unusual. But when you throw in the specter of a child pornography motive, then it starts making more sense. What about it out to Sebastian Coots with KDW Radio?
Nancy, I understand that these razor blades she may have swallowed, in fact, may have started the entire unraveling process, because it is a person, some anonymous source in the public, that tipped off a local newspaper reporter to the fact that someone was hospitalized for an apparent suicide attempt that might have been related to the Cantu case. It is that reporter that then figured out it was Melissa Huckabee and then got a phone interview with her, put an interview in the paper, and thus the police read this interview and say, hey, this is not what you told us. What's going on here?
Okay, let's go to the lawyers. Unleash them. Susan Moss, Renee Rockwell, Alan Ripka. You know what, Susan? Why doesn't she just take out a billboard on 3rd Avenue screaming, I did it? She changes her story. She writes this kooky letter telling where the body is in cryptic words. She swallows X-Acto knives, said she didn't do it, then says it was an accident. But what about the rape?
She's trying to stage an insanity fence, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. She knows the difference between right and wrong. Heck, she probably taught that in Sunday school. school. It's not going to work, and she is going to be convicted.
Okay, Renee Rockwell, what's your story this time?
Rule 101, do not say anything. She's backing herself into the corner. She said she didn't do it. Then she said it was an accident. Remember, Nancy, if it's an accident, it means I did it, but I didn't mean to kill her. So she's
Renee,
all over
that's
the
what
place.
I just told you. I'm asking you to tell me what your defense would be.
Nancy, the first thing you do is put a muzzle on her and make her stop talking. But it's going to be a mental defense, Nancy, and because this suicide attempt itself is so entirely crazy, I think they're going to be able to make some ground, maybe not much, with the defense.
Ripka?
The bottom line is the fact that you try to commit suicide is not coming into the trial. It's not evidence of guilt in a court of law. And secondly, she may have attempted to do something sexual with this girl, but that does not mean she had an idea to premeditate and murder her. And I think the defense is going to be...
Wait, Ripka up while he says that. So,
well, she didn't intend on murdering her, and that's the defense.
Molest a child, but everything was an accident, was unintentional. How do you rape a child with a foreign object and tell me it's accidental, Ripka? Don't hold your earpiece, you heard me.
Nancy, at the end of the day, she may be responsible for some sort of sexual misconduct. That does not mean she intended on murdering her. It could have been an accident. The girl could have tried to run away. There could have been a problem that may not have been her intention.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Well,
Karen
that's the
Stark.
defense.
Karen Stark, we need a shrink. We need one fast. Weigh in.
Well, Nancy, to me, she clearly knows that she did something wrong. She's giving it away. She does know the difference between right and wrong. We have no doubt about that. And so it does really seem like she's going to be in deep, deep trouble.
As I said earlier, this Sunday school teacher better start praying. Georgia in California, what's your question, dear?
My question is, Nancy, if she raped this child with a foreign object, has anybody, has CPS been to evaluate and examine her own child to see if there was any sexual molestation in the home?
That would be step number one. What do we know, Moffat?
Well, the police department was asked about that last week, as a matter of fact, and they said they had contacted the child and had inspected her and that had found no reason to charge Melissa Huckabee with anything further.
What's that got to do with Department of Children and Family Services?